Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Welcome to our channel Shamantaka IS. Friends, today is Vaishaka Krishna Paksha Dashmi. Today is celebrated as Hanumat Jayanti in various parts of our country. So on this day, I just wanted to share few interesting stories about Lord Anjaneya with you. Whenever we say Anjaneya, he is one of the favorite gods for everybody from children to old people. We all love Anjaneya. We all love him. It is because he is very naughty. For children, he is the Superman. A Superman who is not of today's modern age, but of 1,000 years ago. He has done many pranks. He was a prankster, and he was very intelligent, very courageous, very dutiful minded, and he was devoted to Lord Rama. Because of all these reasons, people from all ages love him. He jumped from his cradle to catch that red ripened mango like looking sun. He wanted to eat that fruit. So he thought that sun is a mango and he jumped. And again he jumped from the bird at the seashore of India to Lanka in search of Sita Maya. So like this, he has done so many feats that children just love him, and also elders. Friends, from our childhood, from a very young age, we all teach our children that anything that scares you, for courage, or even if a child is scared to move out a bit in the dark or anything, we say, remember Anjaneya, all your fears will be gone. So we also teach this one small shloka, which is Buddhir Balam Yashodhairyam Nirbhayatvam Arogatam Ajadyam Vakpatutvancha Hanuman Smaranat Bhavet. So what does this shloka tell us? Friends, in this shloka, we come to know that by reciting the shloka and remembering Anjaneya, we get Buddhi, Balam, Yasha, Dhairyam, Nirbhayatvam, Arogatam, Ajadya, Vakpatutvam. Buddhi means intelligence. Balam means strength. Strength is not just for the physical body but also the mind. And Yasha means recognition. For whatever work we may do, for whatever thing we do, we should get a positive recognition. People should recognize that this job was done by this person. So, by remembering Anjaneya, by worshipping him, people will recognize us for the job what we have done, but not for something which we have not done. So, the right recognition we will get by remembering Anjaneya. Then, we get Dhairya. Dhairya means braveness. So to do any job, to do any right job, we will face many hurdles. To come up those hurdles, we need to be fearless. So that fearlessness and that bravery we get by worshipping Anjaneya. Then again, we say Arogatam. Arogata means health. So we get a sound, healthy mind and body. And Ajadya. Ajadyam means removal of laziness. For any job, to get good results, we need to continue to do that job with the same enthusiasm as with which we started. So, Anjaneya gives us that energy to continue the job with the same enthusiasm with which we started, and he does not allow us to become lazy. And there is again Nirbhayatvam, fearlessness. So again the same thing, just like Dhairya, it is Nirbhayatvam, which removes all our fears. And lastly, it is Vakpatutvam. Vakpatutvam means the art of speaking. A person in our, what we say as Gade, or the sayings from the old people we have learned, there is one small saying in Kannada that Matu Ballavanige Jagala illa. That means a person who knows to talk is void of fights. He can escape from fights or troubles. That intelligence of speaking, that art of speaking is given to us or we will be blessed by that art of speaking when we worship Lord Anjaneya. So that is the gist of this shloka. So today, friends, as it is Hanuman Jayanti, let us just know a small story about the birth of Anjaneya, who his parents were. Anjaneya's parents were Kesari and Anjana. Kesari, he was a great Vanara warrior in the court of Vali and Sugriva. Kesari was son of Brihaspati. Who is Brihaspati? Brihaspati is the guru or the teacher of the Devatas, the demigods. And Anjana was a very beautiful princess of the Vanara community. But she was not just a mere princess, she was a cursed goddess. Before getting the curse to be born as a Vanara princess, she was called as Punjikasthala. She was the Manasaputri, or she was born directly from the thought of Brahma. She was a very beautiful lady, Punjikasthala. One day she accompanied Lord Brahma to the Devasabha, where the Devatas or the demigods were there, and there was a performance from the Apsaras going on. So they had gone to see that performance. During this performance, even at that point of time, thousands of years ago, there was a love at first sight between Punjikasthala and Lord Vayu. They fell in love instantaneously the moment they saw each other. And they were so much engrossed in each other that during the dance performance, Punjikasthala, she did not notice that her upper garment, or what we say as a pallu, it slided down. She could not notice it. She was just engrossed, and she was engrossed looking at Lord Vayu, and Lord Vayu was also engrossed in looking at her. They did not notice it. While all the other demigods who were seated, they bowed down their heads. They just looked down. They did not want to, in shame, they looked down. Seeing this, that Punjikasthala did not notice the slipping of her upper garment, Lord Brahma cursed her, saying that your mind is acting like a monkey. It has lost its discipline, and it does not know how it should behave among people. So it is acting like a monkey. Thus, you will be born as a monkey. Like this, Punjikasthala was born as Anjana Devi, who married Kesari. Both Kesari and Punjikasthala were great devotees of Lord Shiva. To get children, Anjana Devi started a penance. Both Anjana and Kesari got married, and we should all be very proud because they lived in Kishkinda. Kishkinda is nothing but our own Hampi and surrounding areas in Karnataka. So Anjana Devi started performing a penance to Lord Shiva to get children. It was Treta Yuga, and it was a time when Lord Vishnu was taking an avatar or incarnating as Lord Rama. Lord Shiva wanted to take birth as Lord Shiva also wanted to incarnate on the earth to help Rama, but he wanted it to be a unique combination of dutifulness, devotion and intelligence, and that is what was Anjaneya. So, where to take birth? He saw Anjana. At that point of time, he was pleased with her penance, and he called Vayudeva, Lord Vayu, and he gave a portion of his strength or his amsha to Lord Vayu and said, you place this in the womb of Anjana Devi, through which I will take birth as Anjaneya. So this was how Lord Vayu bought that power or strength from Lord Shiva and placed it in the womb of Anjana Devi, eventually giving birth to Anjaneya. So that is why Lord Vayu is also considered as father of Anjaneya, and he is called as Vayuputra. Anjaneya, when he was born, he was very beautiful and he was a prankster by birth. He was very naughty. One day, when Anjaneya was sleeping in his cradle, Anjana had gone for puja and she had left the child in the cradle sleeping. Anjaneya got up. He was hungry. He looked around. He did not find his mother. And when he looked out of the window, he could see a ripened mango from the window. So he wanted to eat it as he was hungry. So he just leapt from his cradle to the sky to just catch hold of the ripened mango. At that point of time, Lord Indra, fearing that he might harm the sun, the ripened mango was none other than the sun who was rising, and he was looking as a mango to Anjaneya. So Indra, fearing that this child might harm the sun, he hit Anjaneya on the chin with his Vajrayudha. This chin is called as Hanu in Sanskrit because he got hurt on this chin and the chin got cut. He was called as Hanumanta. So he hit Anjaneya with the Vajrayudha, resulting in the Anjaneya becoming unconscious and falling down to the earth. Lord Vayu, he was deeply hurt by this and he caught hold of his baby Anjaneya and he went into a cave. And not just that, he was so angry with Indra that he said, until my son regains his consciousness and he becomes normal again, nobody in this world shall breathe. And he pulled out the Pranavayu from the creation of the earth. To pacify Lord Vayu, all the demigods and the lords came down, blessed Anjaneya. Brahma, Indra, Kubera, everybody came down. Lord Brahma sprinkled the sacred water from his Kamandalu, resulting that Anjaneya regained his consciousness. And Lord Brahma blessed him that none of the weapons, including Brahmastra, will harm him. So he'll be safe from all the astras. And Kubera gave him an almighty divine mace with which he could kill any asura or rakshasa. Indra blessed Anjaneya with a body as strong as a diamond or Vajrakaya. And Varunadeva, that is the lord of the waters, he blessed him with Anima and Garima Siddhis. That means Anjaneya could reduce the size of his body to a very minute size and also increase it to a very big, huge size with just his thoughts. With getting all these boons, naughty Anjaneya smiled and Lord Vayu was very happy and he gave back the Pranavayu to the world. Getting all these powers, nobody could stop our naughty Anjaneya. So he started all his naughtiness in full zeal. He was playing pranks on everybody, but not to harm anyone, but he was playing pranks. So it is a very common thing that elders do get angry by the pranks played by the children. So as such, one of the Rishis got angry by the pranks played by Anjaneya. He was very troublesome, troubling them with all kinds of pranks. So he cursed Anjaneya that you shall forget all your powers. You will forget all your powers, and when somebody reminds you, only at that point of time you will get back your powers. So this is how it all happened. And Lord Surya at that point of time also had blessed Anjaneya, saying that I will become your teacher and I will teach you everything, all the 64 vidyas that are available. So as time grew, as the child grew, Lord Vayu, after taking the permission from the parents, that is Kesari and Anjana, he took Anjaneya to Lord Surya to learn as a Shishya. He went to Lord Surya. At that point of time, Lord Surya, he kept a condition that the sun cannot stop at one place. So he said, my chariot cannot stop. It will be moving around. So you have to move along with me and also facing me. You cannot see in front of a teacher, a student cannot show his back to the teacher. That is just like disrespecting him. So Anjaneya had to fly in front of Surya, looking at him backwards. So this is how he learned. And Anjaneya was ekasanta grahi. It means once anybody tells anything, just by hearing it once, he could grasp, understand, and also memorize that issue, that subject. That was the intelligence of Lord Anjaneya. So Lord Surya gave him every knowledge, every iota of knowledge he had to Anjaneya, except Navavyakarana. In Parashara Samhita, it is mentioned that to learn Navavyakarana, one had to be married, and Lord Surya could not give that knowledge to Anjaneya, because of which Anjaneya was disappointed. Eventually, Lord Surya also gave him a solution, saying that you can marry my daughter, who is called as Suvarchala. Suvarchala was a daughter of Lord Surya. She was also never interested in the marital status, nor she wanted to have a family of her own. She was more interested in penance. So he said, you marry her just for the sake of marriage and for learning Navavyakarana. As soon as the marriage was over, Suvarchala Devi left Anjaneya and went to Himalayas to perform the penance. And as Anjaneya was married, he learnt Navavyakarana from Lord Surya and came back to Kishkinda, and there he started his penance on Lord Rama. Years rolled on. Rama, Lakshmana and Sita for Vanvasa came to the forest. Sita was kidnapped by Ravana. Rama and Lakshmana came in search of Sita, came down to Kishkinda, and when in Kishkinda there is a small incident which happens, and where Lakshmana was astonished by the intelligence of Lord Anjaneya. When Rama and Lakshmana entered Kishkinda, Sugriva sitting on the mountain top, he sees two ascetic-like princes coming with bow and arrow. He just got scared that Vali might have sent them to kill him. Looking at the fear of Sugriva, Anjaneya came down the hill to meet Rama and Lakshmana in a form of a Brahmin. And because he knew the art of speaking, he spoke in such a way, very intelligent way, to get the information about who they were. At that point of time, it was a very dense forest, and Lakshmana was actually astonished that in this dense forest there is a Brahmin who is looking very powerful with strength, but he is also so knowledgeable. He was shocked. But Rama knew that it was Anjaneya, and this is where we come to know that Anjaneya had a very good way or a tactics. He knew the art of speaking. That is why in the above shloka, if you remember, we say Vakpatutva. That is what it is. The way to speak, to get information. Anjaneya knew it. And Lakshmana was impressed by the knowledge of Anjaneya. Later on, as we all know, that Anjaneya played a very important role in searching Sita Devi. Here, friends, when they went to the shores, they reached the seashores and they were all disappointed. They met Sampati, the brother of Jatayu, who said that yes, I have seen Ravana taking some lady with him flying, and now I can see her that she is sitting under a tree in a garden. So they had to cross this ocean. How to cross such a big ocean? Anjaneya, as you remember, because of the curse given by the ascetic, had forgotten all his powers. At that time, Jambavanta, the bear king, he came and he reminded Anjaneya of all his boons, with which Anjaneya took a very huge form and leaped across the ocean. And in this journey of from this border of the ocean and reaching Lanka, Anjaneya actually kills two female demons. First one being Surasa. Surasa was a snake, or we can say a dragon, residing in the Indian Ocean. The curse which she had would be relieved only when some animal would enter her mouth and instantly come out safely. But nobody could do that. In the moment they entered her mouth, she would chew and eat them off. So the same way, while Anjaneya was crossing the ocean, Surasa came in front of him, stopped him and said that anybody who crosses the ocean has to enter my mouth. So you will have to enter my mouth. So Anjaneya said, Mother, I am going on my way to help Lord Rama. I cannot do it. Please let me go. So she said, I cannot let you go. But there is one condition. The thing is, you have to enter my mouth and instantly come out also. If you can come out of my mouth without being hurt, you are free to go. Anjaneya thought about this puzzle. Then instantly he started increasing his size, not just height-wise, even the breadth-wise. So Surasa, she also started opening her mouth in a very big way, just to fit that Anjaneya can enter her mouth. Because he was growing big, and he was growing bigger and bigger, Surasa also widened her mouth. And within an instant, Anjaneya reduced her size to a very small size and entered her mouth, and before Surasa could realize that Anjaneya has become small and close her mouth, he came outside and said that, Mother, I have fulfilled your condition. And at that instant, the curse which Surasa had got broken and she turned into a goddess. She blessed Anjaneya, saying that you are not just intelligent, you are also very powerful, and the job for which you are going will be fulfilled in a easy way. You are intelligent enough. She blesses Anjaneya and she gets relieved of her curse. The next demoness whom Anjaneya kills on the way is called as Simhika. Simhika she had a very unique boon with which she could catch her prey just by catching the shadow. Whenever any bird or animal crosses the ocean, its shadow falls in the ocean. So Simhika would just catch the shadow and eat the shadow, resulting that the animal also would be eaten by her. Like that, she caught hold of Anjaneya's shadow. After which they had a duel, and Anjaneya with one blow killed Simhika, reached Lanka, killed also Lankini, and then met Sita, gave her the ring which Lord Rama had given, brought back Chudamani, and we also know that he bought the Sanjeevani for Lakshmana during the war, and he played a very major role. This all comes in Sundarakanda. Friends, by studying Sundarakanda only, we get the divine blessings of Anjaneya, and it helps us to get rid of all the troubles what we are having. An important shloka regarding Anjaneya, which commonly all of us know, is Hanuman Chalisa. What is Hanuman Chalisa? As the name Chalisa itself indicates, it is 40 stanzas written in praise of Lord Anjaneya by Tulsidas. And here, by reciting Hanuman Chalisa, it wards off all the negative energies and it gives us so much of strength to move forward in our life. But here, there is one thing which many people miss out. The thing is, Tulsidas has written 2 dohas, one in the beginning of the Chalisa and one doha in the ending of the Chalisa. Only when a person recites both the dohas and the 40 stanzas, he gets the full energy from Hanuman Chalisa. First doha being Shri Guru Charana Sarojara Janija Mana Mukura Sudhara. It is the beginning of the first doha. And Hanuman Chalisa, the 40 stanzas come, and the last doha is Pavanatanaya Sankataharana Mangala Murti Rupa Rama Lakshmana Sita Sahita Hrudaya Basahu Surabhupa. Only when we recite the Chalisa along with these 2 dohas, we get the complete energy from the Hanuman Chalisa. In North India, people recite this 108 times. When we recite 108 times Hanuman Chalisa in a single day, any want, any righteous want will be granted. And not just Chalisa, friends, There is also one more shloka which is very powerful, equally powerful. It is called as Anjaneya Dandaka. It is in Telugu. It also gives us the same result. It also helps us gain strength mentally and physically to face any challenge which comes across in our life. So let us just all pray to Lord Anjaneya to give us the strength mentally and physically to face any hurdles and challenges which comes across in our life and lead our life peacefully. Thank you. Please forgive me if any mistakes committed. Kindly like and share and subscribe to our channel, and also kindly let me know through the comments about your opinions. Thank you.